Coach, 29 new players. What is it like getting everybody adjusted?
Yeah, in this day and age with the portal, I think it's every year you're going to have a new class, it just seems like. I think it might calm down a little bit next year as our rosters get cut to 38 and 34. But yeah, I mean, every year, it's kind of the same motto. This is the most we've had in a fall. But the first thing is to, one, establish our culture back and redefine that form, understand how we do things here at Texas State. And then teach them how we, our drills, get to know them a little bit, right? You know them in recruiting, but probably not as much anymore. Usually you recruit them for 2 or 3 years in high school. Now you recruit them, some of them, literally like a month before they show up on campus. So it's a different day and age. So we spend a lot of time with our guys, just getting to know them, who they are, and then probably last, who they are as a player, right? Because for us, we don't know them as people before we know them as a player. So get them in, get them to work, and then start evaluating where they fit in with this current team, and then how to get them better. So it's been fun. It's in a group that gelled really fast together, and so I'm excited to watch them go to war together on Friday.
It is kind of the norm now in college athletics. How do you make sure that it's not to this degree, like recruiting-wise, out of high school or whether they're transfers, that Texas State is the destination? It's not just another, stopping point.
For sure. I think, first from last year's team, we had 18 seniors, right? So that was a big part of why we had to bring so many in. But the next piece for us is obviously the retention side. And so for us, one thing to one, obviously win here, but then two, love it here. And I think you're going to talk to the guys today that, I'm sure they could have had options left and right to go places, but they love Texas State. They love our program. They love their teammates. They enjoy showing them, and they're building a legacy here as well. So for us, that's what we want to do. And for us as coaches, we want to treat them the right way. Now, I think those preseason players, they're based off last year's performance, which, we want ranked to go higher than that. And then, a lot of new players in our program that they don't know. So for us, we don't look at it all besides use it as motivation, right? I'm going to do anything I can to motivate our guys. I think the beauty part is, in 2022, we were picked to finish 7th and had no players on the all-conference team preseason, and obviously set the school record for wins and did a lot. So for us, it's just a preseason poll. It's not the one that matters. The one that matters is the finishing polls and where it adds up. So I'm going to do everything to motivate our guys, and I think for each one of these guys, that goes into the equation.
How do you get back to that season, coach? Just play the way they play back then, and just get some of the younger guys who were probably freshmen at that point, to get them to get back into that.
Yeah, for sure. I think, always one, you got to stay healthy. That's always number one, right? I think through different years, you might not have a ton of injuries, but you have some key injuries. So one, staying healthy through the long haul. For 14, 15 weeks, you got to stay healthy the entire time. And then two, just play really good baseball. I think with the Sun Belt Conference of who we play day in and day out, and then with our midweek games, it doesn't matter, honestly, who walks in the other dugout. It's about how we play. If we play good baseball, we have a chance to win that day. On the flip side, if we play bad baseball, we're going to get beat. So for us, it's about the controllables. Control what we can control, go play good baseball, and we have a chance to win that day. So, for us to go get to regional, win a regional, make our program, get it to Omaha, all the teams we're going to face and have to beat, those are the teams we're going to beat in that tournament. So, yeah, it's about playing really clean baseball. And even last year, it was more about playing complementary baseball, right? There was days, if you look at our stats, it doesn't really make sense when we finished. It's more about when we pitch it, we're going to play good defense and also have good offensive days and not, show some sides of the baseball not show up.
About getting to Omaha, you had yourself a little experience this year with, Coach Beers, just how much has he helped and, how much do you go after him and try to get some advice?
Yeah, I told everybody when it all happened, my job is to make our program the best we can. And if I can find a guy that's been to Omaha many times, he's won his whole life, and I've always had the utmost respect for him, to bring him into our program to give us any edge we can, I'm going to do that. And so it was very unique because for the first 3 months of the fall, he was actually an on-field coach for us while Coach Linehan was finished up with the Twins, and then now he's in his role now that he is. But yeah, just for myself personally, it's been awesome to bounce ideas off of, create new practice strategies, obviously help with personnel and day-to-day decisions, and then things he brought to the rest of our staff as well, and just be around our program. And so obviously he's a winner, and that's what we want to do is win, so that's why he's here.
And what has Linehan been doing with the team?
Yeah, so obviously you take a guy from the Minnesota Twins clubhouse and put him right with our guys, going from working with Carlos Correa and Buxton and those guys to working with our players. Just his experience, even though he's only 27 years old, is off the charts. And so he's been coaching at the highest level, and to bring in with our guys and to help out our hitters to score runs and manage their swings and to get those guys better. It's been unbelievable. And so really fired up to have him. I think one of his biggest strengths is in-game scouting, getting ready for that opponent that's coming in, because the things they were able to do with the Twins, we're trying to bring that here. And so getting our guys prepared physically, but also approach-wise and how we're going to attack that guy each day.
Gotcha. And then how did that hiring of Linehan and both Pierce come into fruition?
Yeah, so actually, Coach Pierce was actually first. I was actually calling him about the assistant job I had opening, trying to figure out some guys that have maybe coached him before, played for him, just trying to get some background. And then we just kind of started talking about, him. I actually was kind of just checking in on him because I think as coaches, some people forget we're humans and people want to check in on us at times on how we're doing. And he's always been really good to me, so I just checked in to see how he was doing and what his plan was. And then we kind of, over the next couple of weeks, kind of created a plan and got with our administration and created a position for him. And then Coach Linehan, same thing. I was searching and I was trying to be really patient with it because I just kind of felt like, there was a guy out there that and we had a lot of unbelievable applicants come in that wanted that job. And, for him, there were some caveats of trying to wait till the season was over and things like that. But to me, it all kind of worked out perfect to how it worked out. So we're definitely a better program with those guys in our program.
Coach, looking at the regular season, are there any particular matchups against some clubs that you're looking forward to? Are there any matchups that you think that you'll do pretty well against?
Yeah, I think if you look at the schedule, there's a lot of big names up there, right? Of course, you got two of Texas, A&M, TCU, Baylor's back on the schedule. It's been a couple of years, so those midweeks are always fun just because of the rivalries in the state of Texas and everything. I'm excited to have Southern Miss and Coastal here at our ballpark as well, which will be a good experience for our fans. Always love playing Lafayette. We got to get those guys back right the last couple of years. So to me, it's such a fun schedule because you're playing some really talented teams. And so, like I said earlier, for us to go make noise nationally, we got to win these games. So it'll be fun.
Do you think this schedule really helps you beef up and prepare for a shot at Omaha?
It does, because if you're going to go to Omaha, those are the teams, you're going to either host or go to their regional. Those teams you're going to have to play, the caliber teams. And so, and that's the key is we've beaten those teams before, right? It's doing it every year, and it's doing it on a consistent basis. And so, for me, I always want to challenge our teams. And the other side of it is the RPI side, right? It's going to make it to where you don't have to win 40-plus games to get an at-large bid. If you can go win, caught 35 games, you're going to be in a good position, right? So especially with our conference RPI always being in the top 5.
If every team goes as far as their arms do, what's the pitching staff looking like for you this year?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think, to be determined on, the problem with predicting, a lot of these guys, it's their first time at this level. And so, even on Friday night, I'm really excited about Jackson Tier getting the ball on Friday night, but he's been at the D3 level, right? He led D3 in all VRA, but first time turning the level as a Bobcat at the Division I level. So I'm really excited about them because I think they're really talented. It's just the unknown on that side and the position player side of just doing it at this level for the first time. So hopefully, the hope is when the lights come on, they get even better. Obviously, sometimes when the lights come on, they go backwards, right? So for us, it's kind of a to be determined on it, but a lot of talent, a lot of arm power. I think, our back end guys with Matthew Tippy, Bryson Dudley, and Carson Walls, that's some firepower coming at you. So if we can get the game in the 7th inning with the lead, I feel really strong about it.
For those guys that, I'm not sure what year they would be now, but, have made regional appearances and were conference regular season champs, what kind of conversations have they had with, younger players or these new guys?
Yeah, I think, Ryan Farber, who's just a sophomore coming up, and then Chase Moore had a great freshman year and now a junior in his draft year. Just those guys that have been around the program. I think that's kind of the beauty of it is there's so many guys hungry to get to that spot. I think we only have one guy left from the 22 team that won the conference championship and part of it. Don't quote me on that. Phil can tell you the numbers exactly. But it's just a lot of guys that are really hungry to make their stake. And I think for us, setting the 2025 team, creating the new standard, right? And going past to where even the 22 season got us. Go win the Sun Belt, go get a regional, go win a regional, and get to Omaha. That's what we talk about every single day.
Start to Binghamton coach, about them and what you expect this weekend.
Yeah, I think the beauty of opening weekend, it's kind of, I call it old school baseball because we have information on who we're going to face, but just like our guys, they've probably gotten better over the year. I think they've got a ton of new guys in their program as well. They were young last year. They recruited the new facilities they built. And so they're always talented. They're always competitive. And they're definitely going to come down and probably be excited to be outside a lot to get after it. But their coach has been there for a while, has always done a great job. And so the beauty of every weekend is you don't have all these analytics to go off of because you have last year's but not this year's. And so you kind of make a lot of in-game adjustments on who you're going to face. And a lot of times, same thing. There's going to be a freshman on Saturday they start for the first time. Some transfers that have never played at this level. So you kind of get in there and just go play good baseball and figure it out as you roll.
What made Farber so successful last year, and how can he continue that success?
Yeah, I think there's two main things. Number one, his work ethic. The guy works extremely hard at his craft. He's always, trying to take it to the next level. He's never satisfied with what he does, but he's very detail oriented in his work. And then number two, mental game wise, he's a really tough kid. He played majority of the season last year. Really hurt. He grinded that out. That's why he was in the DH role, but he laid it on the line for the Bobcats. And so for me, a guy that works extremely hard, and he also has he's really tough mentally. He usually works out for those guys.
Coach, you brought in a lot of good transfers, and a couple of players from Texas A&M. Laws from Midland College, Tears from Trinity. How do you feel like these transfers are going to help this team get over the hump from last season?
Yeah, I think for all those guys, I think same thing. They've created an edge about them, right? And either gonna prove it to themselves, prove it to their family, prove it to whoever that they belong at the D1 level. And for some of those guys, even though they transferred, they didn't have a lot of at-bats or a lot of innings under their belts. So same thing. They want to get in here and make their name known in our program as well. So what I do like about it is they've seen it, from their side, whatever it is. They've been in some of those big moments and seen, some of that winning baseball in their own way. So bring that to us, but spin it in the Bobcat way and find a way for us to go win a lot of baseball games.
With so many new players and also new coaches coming in, do you feel like, adding a lot of newness to this team, just shaking things up is going to help bring this thing around and come into this season?
I do. Kind of as I said earlier, the number one is we got to stay healthy. We got things going away on that side of it. But yeah, I'm really excited about heading into this season on what we have talent-wise, how they work this whole fall. Anything I've approached them with or goal-oriented with, they've crushed. And so it's a really group. They're really hungry. But we'll get through the next 14 weeks and see how this thing shakes up. But really excited about them, mainly because of how hard they work and how they bought into what we've asked them to do.
Speaking of health, are there any injuries to report to as of today, or is there any injuries we should be aware of?
Yeah, some small ones that we're still working our way through timeline. Hopefully nobody out for the season, but some guys that that had some batteries over the last couple of weeks or hit by pitches, things like that. So not completely there yet on knowing if they're going to be ready for this weekend or need a couple of weeks, but hopefully have some answers here in the next couple of days.
Seeing how the team performed during fall practice, what are some things that you really liked that you saw from them, and what are some things you think they can still improve on as y'all start the season?
Yeah, I thought our true fall game spoke a lot of volumes on how they were going to kind of show up in the moment, even though it wasn't huge crowds and things like that. But went up to DB and showed well against obviously a really good program up there. And then Lamar came in and same thing. They came off to a great campaign last year, and we played really well. So that's my hope, is that the two outside competition games we showed really well. The next part is just it changes, right? When there's 4,000 fans here, the lights come on. It's a little bit different than those inner squads of those fall games. How do they respond to that? We give them all the weapons in the middle game and all the things we preach all the time with the routines and all the things we do, but you can't get the in-game experience until it happens. So to me, that's part of coaching, right? You got to help them through those times. So I'm excited to figure those battles out and help them out along the way.
Well, Ryan, I know y'all were coming off a disappointing season last year. Going into the fall workouts, fall baseball, what's needed to change for this team to kind of refocus and try to get back on track for the season?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of new faces this year, just with all the 27 new guys, and so I think that was huge for us, just to have a lot of new guys that haven't played at this level, that were super hungry to kind of earn a job and get better, and I think it helped our fall be really competitive, which I think was really good for us.
Yeah, looking at that fall, I know we talked to Coach about it, but what were some things you thought the team did really well in fall? What can they move forward towards spring?
Yeah, I think the thing that jumps out to mind is how well we meshed together as a group. I think we got super close really fast, and I think for us to be successful, I think we got to continue to tighten that bond and just be brothers at the end of the day.
You know, you were playing in center field last year. Now you're moving back into the infield. What does it mean to be back in the infield?
I love it. I mean, I've been an infielder since I was really young, and center field was an adjustment. But I'm glad to be back on the infield. I'm a lot more comfortable there.
Yeah, what's it like having someone like Chase Moore at second base?
It's awesome. I mean, me and Chase, we're both competitors, and we work really well together. And it's a lot of fun to know that that guy's next to you, because when I mess up or I screw up, I know he's going to be right there to pick me up.
Just like, how does it feel to like get that national recognition of being named 20th best shortstop by D1 baseball? Like, if you knew about that.
Yeah, it's very cool to get that recognition, especially since I haven't played a lot of time at shortstop yet. But I don't think that anybody really ever goes anywhere wanting to be 20th best, right? So it's very cool, but also there's 19 guys that they think are better than me and 19 guys that I'm chasing.
You mentioned bonding like with these new teammates earlier. What are you guys actually doing to, welcome all these new guys in and kind of click as a team?
Yeah, I think it started with kind of the first weekend we were here together. We got everybody together at Chase's house, and all just kind of hung out. So I think that was kind of the kickstart of building relationships, and it's just the amount of time that you spend with guys kind of helps us come together.
And then obviously new faces on the roster, but on the coaching staff too. What does David Pierce add to this?
Yeah, Coach Pierce is awesome. Just having him around to have conversations with us and with the coaches. I mean, he's been around baseball for so long. He's got a lot of knowledge, so it's very beneficial for us.
And along with Pierce, what has Linehan kind of brought to the table? Like, how's he been helping you?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Linehan came from where everybody on this team wants to go, which is the big leagues, and so to have a guy that has that experience and that knowledge has been super helpful. Just thinking about hitting in a different way, I think is going to help us have a really good offensive year.
Then, like, what do you mean by like a different way? Like, has he been working with like techniques and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's techniques, and then how we're going to approach hitting pitchers. Right, it's more advanced than I've ever seen before, and it's advanced, but it helps you simplify what you're doing in the box, which I think will be really helpful.
Ryan, next week you guys get to go to Arlington to play Oklahoma State on one of the biggest ballparks in the country, one of the newest ballparks in the country. What does that? How do you approach such a game, and how does your teammates approach such a game?
Yeah, it's really exciting to go get to play to a place like that. I think right now our focus is on February 14th. So we got 3 games against Binghamton before we go up there. But as soon as that Monday comes, I know that we'll all be really excited and looking forward to getting up there to play in a big league stadium.
Yeah, speaking of Friday, are you guys really jazzed for opening night, just from a baseball standpoint, but also just like what kind of preparation do you do to get ready for opening day as opposed to once you're in the grind of the season? Yeah,
I think that I mean, we've worked really hard preparing, right, this whole fall, and I mean, it's just constant reps, right? It's taking intentional reps every day, I think, is the most important thing. And just doing that with your teammates and with your brothers and building relationships, I think, is the most important preparation. And I think we've done a really good job to get us ready for Friday night.
You know, Ryan, you had a really spectacular freshman year last season. How do you continue that momentum you built up in freshman and just put it towards this year?
Yeah, I think I was very pleased with how I performed last year. It got cut short a little bit with an injury, but that's kind of on the back of my mind now. That's happened. It's in the past, and so it's not really what I'm focusing on now. I'm very thankful that it happened, but now I'm just trying to get better and build on that. So it's in the back of my mind, but I've done a lot to try and get better, and I think I'm a better player than I was last year. So I just want to be better than I was.
You know, when y'all take the field on Friday, just what is something you want to see the team kind of do just to kind of get off on the right start and being able to start the season off on the right foot?
Yeah, I think it starts with our energy. I mean, it's pretty easy opening night. Everybody's going to be really excited, but I think 2 words that are going to really help us is energy and focus. So how excited can we be when we show up to the ballpark and when we wake up on Friday morning, and then how focused can we be for every single pitch of that game the first night?
Now, I know you're not in the bullpen or the rotation, but what do you think about all these new pitchers coming in? How are they going to help y'all kind of as the season goes on? Yeah, I think we have a really, really good staff. Guys like Jackson Tier, newcomer, Bryson Dudley, newcomer, Carson Laws, newcomer, and returners like Austin Eaton, Sam Hall, Matthew Tippy. I think there's a lot of really, really good stuff, and it makes it really fun as a hitter to know that those guys are going to be on the mound because they might make your job a little easier.
When you guys are picked to, finish the middle of the pack, that motivation for you guys to just go prove people wrong?
Yeah, I mean, we all see it, right? And it's hard to ignore. But I think for us as a group, we've kind of bought into proving ourselves right instead of proving others wrong. We understand what we're capable of, and we understand that nobody else sees that at this point, and that's okay. And we're just committed to going out there and competing and trying to prove ourselves right because we know what we can do. We just have to go do it.
Well, Austin, you get the Sunday start for Binghamton. Just what does it mean to kind of get the last game of the opening season to start out the season, especially coming off of last season?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge thing to get a good start to the season, and being a Sunday starter, getting off to a good season, you expect to be 2-0 on Sunday, and you want to be able to get that win on Sunday, be 3-0 to start the year.
Looking how the pitching staff performed last season, what are some things y'all are working on to improve on during the off season? During fall, and what are some things y'all want to continue to do as y'all head into this season?
So, on the pitching side, we kind of changed our mentality with the zones that we want to throw to, and we focus really hard on fastball command and pitching to different zones and finding hitters' weaknesses and mainly finding our strengths and working those strengths.
What other guys on the pitching staff have maybe surprised you heading into the season?
Players or coaches?
Players. Pitchers
Players.
specifically.
I'm just really surprised at all of our JUCO transfers, really. Being a JUCO transfer myself, I was pretty nervous going to D1, but I think with our mental game, just having confidence in yourself, and it's just a game.
Is your mindset still going to be the same coming from D3 to D1 and facing these guys now, or do you have to change something?
Sorry?
Your mindset.
Wrong guy.
Oh. My bad.
It's all right.
Just you guys are picked 8th to
Yeah.
finish in the conference, Does that motivate you guys? Is there a motivation there to kind of prove people wrong?
Absolutely. I love being an underdog, and I think we all love to be the underdog. And I feel like I've been an underdog my whole life, and I just love to prove people wrong and mostly prove us right. So. Yeah.
And then, how do you continue the success from last year, like headlining that weekend rotation? How do you continue to keep performing at a high level?
I think staying with my routines and habits that I've created with our mental game that we have with Brian Kane, and just having that confidence in myself to keep having success.
With so many of these pitchers coming from JUCO, what is the key to success? Coming from the JUCO level and stepping here in a Division I program and continuing the success y'all had when you were in junior college.
I think the biggest thing to keep your success is to realize it's just a game. It's the same at junior college at any level. You have a ball, they have a bat, and you're trying to get it past them.
Speaking as a pitcher, do you guys as a pitching staff sort of approach every series, every game with the same mentality, or do you all sort of have your own way of preparing and the sum of your parts kind of come together to create a dominant pitching staff?
For sure. I think for every weekend, first of all, we want to stick to our strengths, but we obviously we have a pitchers meeting and we look at the hitters that we're going to be facing that weekend, and we see what their weaknesses are and what they get out with, and we use that to create a plan each game to go dominate.
You might not have an answer for this, but your story going from JUCO to D1 isn't necessarily unusual anymore, just the way the portal works.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been any pitchers or any players in general that have done the same kind of transition as you, that you've looked up to and you're like, okay, I kind of want to do what they've done?
For sure. There was a player that I played with at Navarro Junior College. Actually, there was a lot of them. I can name a bunch. Cash Ruley, Ethan Ruiz. They all went on to play D1 baseball after junior college, and I mean that was my dream. So, yeah.
What makes that Texas junior college circuit so tough, and why do you think so many players? Then there's Carson Laws, from Midland College.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about the Texas junior college players that have so much success, and why are they? When they get out, have the success that they have?
From playing Texas junior college, I think you're a little bit more gritty. I think there's that underdog factor that you are a JUCO player, and you want to prove people wrong and prove yourself right that you can have success at a higher level than junior college.
With all the bumps y'all had last season, what is it going to take for the team to kind of overcome those and just try to, get back in that Sun Belt title conversation and get back to the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, for sure. I think we have a really good team culture this year. I think each guy loves everyone the same, and I feel like we would go to war with any one of these guys out here. And I think nothing will break that. No matter how low we get, I feel like we have a good enough culture to stay with each other and keep fighting.
How important is that team culture going to be? As y'all, in baseball, it's such a long season. Y'all go through the weekend, the 3-day games, and then you also have the midweek games, playing all the Power 5 teams. But how's that team culture going to help y'all kind of push through the season?
Yeah, so with team culture, having confidence in each other and loving each other, no matter if this guy's having a good game or this guy's having a great game. You want to stick as one. It's a team sport, and although there are individual successes, it's for team success. Team success leads to personal success is one of the things that we strive for.
Do you think the other pitchers on this staff sort of look to you as a leader, look to you as someone that they can rely on and that they can, kind of grab some wisdom from?
I would like to think so, and I try to help each guy out that whenever they ask, and just do the best I can to be a team player in that way.
Are there any MLB pitchers you model your game after? If so, who are they? Why?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not too sure.
What have you guys done to kind of get everybody bonded and ready for the season?
I guess it's just our team culture meetings we have once a week where we kind of dive into who we want to be as a team and who we want other people to see us. So I guess it's just getting to know each guy on a deeper level, getting to know their thoughts, and kind of all just bouncing ideas off each other really helps us bond together closer.
Chase, with the many ups and downs y'all had last season, just so going into the off season, what did y'all wanted to focus on, and how do y'all during the off season, how do y'all translate that into kind of turning the season around and kind of getting back in that Sun Belt title race?
I guess last year didn't go the way we wanted to, but with all the new guys we had and even the group we had returning, I thought it was a really good core, and then just having all those new guys kind of brought that competition back this fall, where in the first 2 years I was here, I felt like it wasn't really, we didn't compete as hard. I felt like this fall we really showed up every day and gave it our 100% effort every day, and that made it a lot more competitive. And I think we all got better in that time.
As that old saying goes, iron sharpens iron. How does that, competing against one another, do you think has, revigorated this team going into this season?
I guess, we all strive to be the best we can every day, and I guess having 40 guys in a locker room that all want to be just the best player, everybody's continuing to get better no matter what, because whether you're on the pitching staff and you want to be the Friday night or you want to be the closer, everybody's competing, and then for hitters, it was really competitive. Everybody was wearing the cover off of baseball. Even early this spring, it's been really competitive, and it's just kind of looking to the guy next to you, you're hey, I'm going to be better than you today, and then that next day it's oh, he's better than me. So it's kind of just that thing that everybody wants to be better than the guy in front of them or the guy next to them.
Ryan moving down from center field over to shortstop, what is it like having him over there kind of next to you as y'all, in the infield?
It's good. He's an amazing ball player. He takes care of the baseball. And I guess it's just having another guy in the infield like myself that loves to bring the energy and kind of, we're always communicating. And I guess last year it was I kind of felt like it was all me. I was the only voice, and having a guy like him come into the infield and really now you have two guys that are bringing the energy, whether the pitcher's struggling or a guy in the outfield needs to be picked up, we're always there to help them.
Offensively, what are some things that you worked on that you wanted to kind of get better at and just kind of improve on this season?
Yes, I would say the biggest thing for me was pitch selection. I think I kind of got out of that approach last year and kind of...
Yeah.
Okay.
One more.
Are we all doing social media stuff over here?
Yes.
Okay, nice. There were a lot of laughs, so I think it went well. It's really fun to just stand in front of the camera.
Yeah, just staring.
Not saying a word. You're probably good.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. What are some things during the off season that you wanted to improve on? From a batting perspective, and how do you feel going into this year?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing for me was pitch selection. I think last year I kind of got out of that, kind of was swinging at the first pitch no matter what and didn't really have that approach. And I think this fall, me and Double D, and even early this spring, kind of like dived into that. And like he always talks about the go zone, kind of in each AB having a different go zone, whether he's a sinker slider guy or if he's a ride fastball and a big break, kind of having that go zone. So that's been a huge, I guess, addition to my game. And then another thing is just having a routine every day. I think my in-game routine has been really good, but it's like having that routine every day that I do in the cages. So me and him really got in on that this fall and built that, and it's something I do every day before practice starts.
With so many chancers coming in, also a couple of coaches coming in, does everything kind of feel like refreshed, like everything's kind of revigorated now? Or
yes, I would say, even like anytime you have that many new guys and even the new coaches come in, it's really like you kind of have to look at the culture and reevaluate and make sure everybody understands what we want to see every day. So I would definitely say it's been a big refresh from last year. It's just like, I think this year we're very, very hungry to go prove everybody that we're not an 8th place team like they have us projected right now. So I think that's a big thing, is just being hungry and having that attitude that nobody can stand in our way.
And how has Linehan been helping you in the rest of the offense so far?
Yeah, he's been huge. He brings that big league mentality, is just having like the go zones that I was talking about, is just making sure that we're hunting a specific location where the baseball needs to start, and then even the routines, the early work that you see the guys doing here, that's been really huge. Just like getting in every ounce of work we can before season has been really, really huge.
You talked about how you have a routine that helps you, maintain like what you're doing and everything. Does that routine change at all once the season starts? Is there a difference between an off-season routine and a season routine?
No, it's just something like, it's just my cage work where I'm on the tee with the flat bat and I take 10 to 15 swings to fill my swing, make sure I'm staying inside the baseball. And then we go to front toss and darts. We have Double D throw us darts, and it's just something we do every day. We get out here hour and a half early and just knock it out before practice.
When it comes to Friday, is there anything about Binghamton that you're going to be looking for? Are there any keys to victory over them?
No, it's just showing up to the base or to the ball yard every day with the attitude that nobody's going to stop us. We always talk about it as like we're going to compete to our standard, not the school board. So it doesn't matter if we're down 7 runs in the 7th inning, we still have a chance to go win that ball game because we're going to take it one pitch at a time.
Going through a fall ball and then even during these scrimmages in the spring, how do you feel like do you feel like the team's like improving from last season, and how do y'all continue, the momentum y'all built up and put it towards this Friday?
Yeah, so I would say to start out, the pitching side has been really huge. I think last year we kind of struggled on the back end of games with arms, and I think the coaches did an unbelievable job bringing in some arms that, it was tough even when we got back here this spring. It was like, man, like, why aren't we hitting? And it's like, well, these guys, they're used to throwing the rock every day, and we hadn't seen live pitching, so it took us till last week to finally start hitting off our guys. So I think that shows a lot about our pitching staff, is that they're going to show up every day, they're going to compete, they're going to be around the zone. And then, the hitters is just stay in the course, don't ride the roller coaster, stay neutral through everything.
Who's the toughest pitcher on this team, do you think?
Oh, man. I don't like giving people credit, but I'd have to say Dudley, Bryson Dudley.
Is there a big league player that you sort of model your game after, or that you sort of look to as an idol?
I would have to say Trey Turner. Just kind of the smaller guy, but he doesn't let that affect the way he plays. He's going to play hard no matter what.